Charlie loved life. He loved his life. He loved America. He loved nature, which helped him always bring him closer to God. He loved the Chicago Cubs. And my goodness, did he love the Oregon Ducks. Want me to say go Ducks, so I have to since they play on Saturday. So go Ducks. But most of all, Charlie loved his children, and he loved me. I want to thank my husband's dear friend, Vice President Vance, and his phenomenal wife, Usha, for their love and support. You guys honored my husband so well bringing him home. I want to thank President Trump and his incredible family for the same. Mr. President, my husband loved you. And he knew that you loved him too. The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country and this world. You have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry.
I know people mourn differently, but is this a eulogy speech or a threat? What was that speech? Let's watch these reactions. I'll come back with my own reactions, okay? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Immaculate, and if it's your first time coming across this channel, please do well by subscribing, okay? Let's grow the family.
Charlie Kirk's widow has broken her silence, I've just seen. She posted a rallying speech saying that he will never ever be forgotten, lots of emphasis on that, and that we have no idea what's coming. I don't know what she has planned, I'm nervous. She also said in the speech that his tour and his podcast will continue. She also posted a video of his corpse, her kissing his hands. In amongst this, her breaking her silence, we've discovered that she and their children weren't at the rally. In fact, they weren't even in Utah. Who started that, and why did that continue to be pushed? I'm sure that's easily verifiable. I must blame myself. I am a journalist, so I should have checked somehow, but everyone was saying it. I'm pretty sure everyone was saying that. I'm pretty sure even the BBC said it. I'm sure everyone said it. So yeah, his wife and children weren't there, and a lot of people are using that to bully people into being sympathetic. So you have to remove that one now. You have to go back to Charlie as a person. So something tells me that'll be a bit harder.
Charlie Kirk's widow, Erika Kirk, live streamed a message last night, and if that video was anything, it was a further call to war. Now, if you haven't seen it, I suggest you go watch it because the visuals and messaging are absolutely fascinating. And just like my video from last night, it's time to clock in and listen up because we're gonna the shit out of this thing. Each emphasis, each moment of emotional expression looked so perfectly calculated, and everything continued to circle back around to promoting and platforming the turning point, the business. She even directs people to their website. She tells them to start chapters wherever they are. She even goes so far as to say that there is absolutely no excuse to not start a chapter if there is not one near you. She also says that the evildoers will pay for what they've done. Here's the thing though, this speech was broadcast live, which means that it was broadcast after Tyler Robinson turned himself in. Now, the language around the shooter has been very singular, very solo. We caught the guy. We already know that it looks like Tyler Robinson is aligning with the far, far right, in particular, the GroPo movement. So, who are these evildoers to which she's referring? And if you for 1 second think that she had time to get a full beat hair done, come up with that speech, but didn't keep up with Tyler Robinson's probable affiliations, then you're either on the wrong page or you need to hold onto your hat because you're about to get a crash course in chaos. At first glance, it would be so easy to assume that she's talking about Democrats and the left. That would be the obvious answer. But if you watched my last video, you already know that I don't think she was talking to Democrats and the left. I think she was talking about other factions in the alt-right. I think the reference to evildoers served two distinct functions, and that it carried both a high and low frequency of messaging. The high, the obvious, it calls out to everyone that still believes that Tyler Robinson was radicalized by the left. And after scrolling through literally thousands of comments last night as I was looking at news media coverage videos, it is very clear that there still are an absolute ton of people that believe that he was radicalized by the left. Because of the word fascist used on one of the shell casings, they absolutely cannot wrap their minds around the fact that the phrases used were actually alt-right memes. They only know the word fascist as used as part of a left lexicon. So this high frequency messaging keeps them riled up, especially after MAGA Republicans have had to pivot away from directly accusing Democrats of having done it. The low frequency messaging, other far right factions, because by the time she made this message, it would have already been known that Tyler Robinson's affiliations would be with the far right, not the left. Steph, even if she was talking to other far right factions, wasn't this just the work of one angry shooter? Who put out the fucking book? That's right, it all comes back round again. Who published that biography one day before it actually happened? Who are they? What did they know? What role did they play? People are always talking about the left eating itself, but I want to know, what's happening with the right? So for the last day, the Democrats and the leftists have been online making jokes talking about, so are the white people going to fight back against other white people? Are the right going to fight the right? Yes. The answer is yes. Months ago, I made a video breaking down how Trump was trying to turn the states into a white Christian national state, but that beyond that, a lot of white Christians would eventually be shocked to find out that they are not the right kind of white, nor the right kind of Christian to be considered part of the in-group. The right, the far right, the alt-right, there are factions and they don't like each other. It is well known that Nick Fuentes' Groypers hated Charlie Kirk. They found him too moderate. They didn't find him extreme enough. Him not extreme enough for their liking. But I also think the right is smart enough to know that the range of extremes in and amongst the factions is beneficial for shifting mindsets and carrying out indoctrination on different levels. I said it in my last video and I'll say it again. People think the fight is left versus right, but I think the right sees the left as a nuisance, and that for them at the end of the day, they see the fight as right versus farther right. Whether it's MAGA Republicans or Groypers, Oath Keepers, Proud Boys, people that don't think they align necessarily with the Republicans and yet hear certain messaging that they feel, oh, actually, that's not that bad. You know, those little insidious messages that kind of get in there and pull people along further and further the path of right. Sometimes it's just due to religious indoctrination, you know? The fact that someone carries the same religious identity as them makes them blind to the other harmful things that they're doing. And so they will protect that person as a member of the same religious flock rather than calling them out for the actual harm that they do. At the end of the day, all these different people, all these little pieces, they could all have a useful role to play. Think of indoctrination like a sales funnel, you know? Sometimes people pop in at different points in the sales funnel, depending on what they need, what they already know, how they're feeling, and where they are in their life. Erika Kirk's message last night was her selling and selling hard.
Your husband just got pew-pewed in the neck in front of you and your kids, and within 72 hours of his passing. You've already done a press conference. You're having people film you while you're kissing and caressing his corpse. I'm really not even trying to be funny. Is that not weird? It be my full life birthday and I don't even be taking pictures and videos of myself. You are standing in the room with his corpse. Has rigor mortis even set in? Is his amniotic fluid all the way in there? Like, and you're telling somebody to film this. And you're editing it and like posting it. And then it was like kind of like ASMR, like she was rubbing the fabric. The press conference, you wrote a speech, accepted it, got dressed, hair done, makeup. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Buki, the call is coming from inside the house, and whoever did the body did a good job. Now, Charlie Kirk's wife recently, she got the body, child, and she posted these images, I believe, of him getting a medal from the president. I'm not entirely sure the title of the medal, but baby, she'd have posted the body. And also other images of her kissing the body. I mean, we've seen this at funerals. This is nothing new. It's really what most widows and loved ones do to their loved ones, right? I think the internet was a little bit more alarmed that she posted it, because mostly funerals are pretty private. But after she had posted those images of his funeral, child, she then posted this message. You could pause to read it. I'm not going to read it. But she basically blaming everybody but the call coming from inside the house. Now, after she had made this post, she then took and did a speech, child. Let me play the speech.
The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love.
Girl.
But they should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country.
Erika, please. Okay, we give you some grace because you lost your husband. But the fact that you keep saying they, them, and you guys, who was you guys? They found the assailant. It is this man right here. Girl, I don't know what power trip they done put you on, girl, but get off that ride immediately. And instead of coming for all of the internet for what your husband was saying, you need to download JPay and talk to the person who did it.
Erika Kirk is not Jacqueline Kennedy, although I'm pretty sure she thinks she is. Jackie was a legend in memorializing and preserving the legacy of her husband, not parading staged videos of her kissing his corpse around social media. She didn't allow JFK's corpse and her grief to be exploited for the public to leer on, and she certainly didn't do it herself, insisting that the casket remain closed. Instead of standing on stage proclaiming that his death has ignited a fire and that his business will continue on, she worked behind the scenes to preserve his legacy through interviews, through his presidential library, and most importantly, through his children. See, while Erika is telling their 3-year-old that daddy's on a work trip with Jesus to be able to afford her Blueberry budget, side note, weird amount of guilt you're giving a toddler that she's somehow responsible for daddy being with Jesus, Jackie was instructing their 3-year-old how to salute a casket, instructing him, John, you can salute daddy now and say goodbye to him. No blueberries, just reality, but I guess since Charlie Kirk is certainly no JFK, he had to marry an Erika, not a Jackie.
You mean to tell me, less than 48 hours after your husband's funeral, you and your team set this live TikTok up, this live performance is what I'm going to call it, with the podium and the pictures and the picture of Donald Trump and all that. That was all intentional. Y'all sat and had a meeting, y'all set this up. Crying with no tears. There's no, remorse is the wrong word. There's no, like, you're supposed to be a grieving wife. What the world is saying is that your husband was assassinated. Okay, so let's just say that's the word we're gonna use. You're a grieving wife and this is what you want? Did y'all watch this shit? I didn't. I watched TikToks about it. I couldn't watch it. I have a fake radar. Like, I could read fake from a mile away. I can't. Let me find out this bitch had something to do with it. I feel like I'm not gonna sit here and say I feel like she has something to do with it, but it's very odd that less than 48 hours, you're all dolled up, smiling, laughing, talking to the people. Looks like a political setup to me, like she's setting her up She's setting herself up to step into politics. That's just my take on it. Doesn't look like a grieving wife to me. That's just my take on it. It's a little weird.
All right, I'm not sure if anybody else is feeling this, but that video of Charlie Kirk's wife giving her little speech after his passing, shit was weird as fuck, bro. Like, I'm not gonna be the type of person that tells anyone how to grieve or anything like that, but that it just felt like bad acting. And I don't know, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she was just trying to keep her composure and everything like that. But that was horrible. That was a painful 17 minutes to watch. Not because I felt sad or anything like that. I didn't wish for Charlie Kirk to die. Don't wish death upon people. But that was different. That was different. She called him a martyr. She said that his work is going to go on and they're going to push even harder and stronger to, promote turning points and everything like that, that he was God-fearing man. He was a Christian man and it was just, nothing about that welled up any kind of, if I was watching that, had I not known anything about Charlie Kirk and her husband passing or anything, the political interactions, and I saw that, if I was just some rando watching that, I would think that it was scripted, not because she wrote a speech, but just all of it. Just it was terrible. It was terrible. I mean, I know there's some people that are gonna like, oh, how could you? This is a grieving wife and mother and her husband just bad. I know there's gonna be some of you out there, but there's also those of you out there who understand what the fuck I'm talking about, who saw that and were like, the little kid, like it gives a little side eye. Yeah, I was side eyeing all of that shit. That just listen to it. Listen to it without watching it. Listen to it while watching it. Yeah, that was off and awful.
Not his wife saying, matter of fact, roll the clip.
He's on a work trip with Jesus, so he can afford your blueberry budget.
Ma'am, do you know Jesus? Do you know that Jesus was a carpenter? Do you know Jesus literally recruited all the unwanted people from their cities? Do you know that your husband, if he would have met Jesus, they would not be walking hand in hand, path in path. They would not be leaning in the same season, if you know what I mean. I mean, we all know Jesus was black, and that alone would have made your husband cringe. Let's be so for real right now, because we all know that your husband is not walking with Jesus, and that when you croak, you ain't gonna be seeing him walking with Jesus, and you ain't gonna be walking with Jesus, because what Jesus preached was nothing like what your husband preached. And that's all I gotta say.
I'm actually legitimately shocked at how far they're going with the social media production of this entire thing. Like, it's the fact that we're posting these things on social media with a perfect manicure. Like, those are the freshest nails that got done before this happened. And we're showing corpse hands of someone who is the love of your life on social media in a carousel we're in full glam at 10 a.m. on a Wednesday morning. And when she says that she told her children that Charlie's on a business trip with Jesus to be able to pay for their blueberry budget, she literally said that. So now your kids are going to internalize that and say something, like, well, we don't have to eat fruit if daddy will just come home. There's an elevated stage with an entire audience at Air Force 2. We're tagging people in the photos too. Like, we're not just stopping to have somebody take them. We're tagging people in them. Her being mic'd up and then kissing his hands, speaking during that whole time. This is my first social media death, I think.
What do you mean, you evildoers? Who are they, them that you're talking about? The only person that assassinated your husband is one person. And to make it even worse, that person is a MAGA, okay? And he's been arrested. And the governor of Utah clearly didn't even want that person to be that person. He wanted that person to be in the minority groups, maybe an immigrant or a Latino or Black American. But you saw what happened. So you can't just keep on your speech saying you, they, what? Okay, we're going to give you some grace because you are mourning, but can we just mourn the right way? It's like you're launching something, like you thought my husband did something. Wait for me. I'm about to show you what's about to go down. Is there anything that Erika knows that we don't? Maybe there's something. What do you think? Comment down below and let me know your thoughts, because each day is getting messy. Oh my God.